Hey, welcome to the Let's Enjoy Piano Self-Expression Method. We're going to look at O Come All Ye Faithful today and how to play it from a lead sheet by positioning your hands in the three positions of melody centering, which is found on page 38B or 44A or 29A from the Let's Enjoy Piano Self-Expression Method. A little bit of improvisation, accompaniment, jamming, composing, featuring melody centering, which we're going to look at today. And that's how you position your hand so that the melody note is the top note in any chord. The three positions are as follows. The root position, let's say you take a D chord, D major, the root position, thumb is the root, third is the F sharp, fifth is the A. So if the chord is in this position, the reason the composer chooses this position is because they want the melody note, which is the highest note to the right, they want that note as the melody. So there's no other way we can place a D chord but in this position to get the melody note as A. So I've labeled that a fifth, which is the fifth of the chord, and that's the melody note, and the position is RP. So 5 RP. You can see here on page 38B or 44A. When the fifth is the melody note, the chord is in root position. When the first of the chord is the melody note, let's take a G chord. When the root is the melody, that's got to be on the top, so you can't play G this way. You have to play G this way, which is first inversion. So you target the root and you make a 1, 2, 5. So that you can't have the B and the D up here because we hear the highest notes. We want to hear that note, so you have to place your pinky there, and the remaining notes of the G chord, B and D, are below. That's the reason of first inversion, to get the root as the melody. That's the driving force. The melody note dictates the positioning. So if you see a G chord with a G note, like in the beginning of O Come All Ye Faithful, there's the G chord, there's the G note. The chord has to be in the first inversion, and I label it that way, G1, and put my fingers in accordingly. So that's the key. The melody note, let's say 44A here. There's 44A. The melody note is a driving force, so that you can place your fingers in there's the melody's relationship to harmony. Melody note dictates right hand position. When the fifth note is the melody, then the triad is in root position. When the root is the melody, the triad is in first inversion. That's what we just did. The only thing that's left is the third. When the third note's the melody, the triad is in second inversion, or it's also a half a chord. So if we look at that, the triad is in, the third is the melody. It said G, B, D. If the third is the melody, there's the B. That's the third of the chord. That has to be the highest note. It has to be a half a chord. But what happened to this D? Well, you can put that at the bottom. Therefore, it's second inversion. And the shapes of these chords are laid out in shapes on page 29A. You can see the top heavy shape of a second inversion, which is a half a chord. And this formula is 3-2. So when the third's the melody, it's second inversion or half. 2 means half. Half a chord. When the root's the melody, R1. And when the fifth's the melody, root position. So there's the melody centering. There's examples on page 43 that defining melody centering position and some exercises you could do. So grab a copy of the book. It'll be a great Christmas present, or you want to take some lessons online. I do online lessons. You can take a month of lessons and see how you like the introduction to the Let's Enjoy Piano method. It's a very efficient method, and you'll be playing in full sounding harmony within the shortest amount of time that It's a very efficient method with these three positions. No matter what song it is, those are the positions. Root position, which puts the fifth as the melody. Half a chord, which puts the third as the melody. F sharp, and then first inversion, which puts the root as the melody. Melody, remember, has to be the highest. So if we look at O Come All Ye Faithful, the first position is G1. That'll take care of, and Faithful, the D is in root position. So I have it laid out here. First inversion, G into D root position. It's a triangle chord. So if you're beginning, you can, label in your fingers, label in your shapes, so you don't have to think, so you can think ahead and link the chord positions, which is the chord flow connection, and get some continuity in your playing. So I'm thinking of G1. Now I'm going to D root chord. Now I'm going to G half. Now I'm going to C1. Here's the C1 right here. There's a chord matching the C note. Okay, so that's got to be a C1. And here's G2 or G half because it's B. You just have to know you're on page 3. You have to know your root, third, and fifth of every chord. The root, third, and fifth is labeled out on the bottom of page 3, the basic fundamentals. So the fundamentals chapter, page 3, and the shapes on page 10 of the basic chords. So here in this song we're dealing with a G chord, a D chord, an E minor, and a chord. So you have A, D, which are two triangle chords, E minor, D major, A major, G1, C1. That's the whole song. Those are the only chords, the only positions you need. So here we go. Here's G1. Root position, D. Half a G. C1. Half a G, D. Full. E minor, half. D half. A full of root position. And you saw here's an A, here's an A major, here's the E note. It's got to be a full. E is on the fifth of A. If you look on page 3, the fifth of A is E. So it's got to be a full chord. And if it was written as a full chord, you'd recognize that you'd see A, C, E. A, C sharp, E. You'd see a half a chord, D. You'd say D and F sharp. And you can write in, if you want to write in, you can write in the half a chord for yourself, D and F sharp. You can write in the G1, B, D, G. You can write in the full D here, or the half. You can write it, make life easy for yourself. Indicate the positioning. And once you get used to that, you'll see how it triggers, the melody triggers the whole position. So you have to memorize those three formulas, three basic things. So here's the first part. Then you just add in a bass note in the left hand. Okay, so that's basically the way you prepare any music, but it works very well with the Christmas tunes here because they're solidly written. You could harmonize every note as well. It could sound something like this. So do the same thing with the next section, and do the same thing with any song that you have. And that's the key to positioning your right hand, and your left hand is basically an octave, closed or open. Okay, so follow this procedure of laying out your chords across both hands. You can check page 26 for the famous Fotmore, the Focused Organized Practice Methodology Routine. Gives you a standard operating procedure on how to approach each song and how to prepare it so that you're all ready to go once you have your music. And in case if you think about it, in another 10 months, this song is going to come up again for you to learn it and to play it and to perform it or whatever you're doing. So it's going to be all prepared. So I hope that helps you out. Go to the website, get a copy of the book, and you can follow along in future lessons. But that's the key to it all, the melody setting and positioning, and then start interpreting with a little dynamics and articulation, phrasing, rolling. You can accompany, you can just use someone singing with you. You just take the positions and you just... So that was the accompaniment style. I have the positioning all laid out, so now I can just roll and follow the singer or the instrumentalist and have a nice solid sound in the background as an accompaniment. If you're writing a song, you go through the same process. Composing, you're either picking the root, third, fifth as the melody and getting your harmony down. Sometimes you could play a root chord in a harmonic position, but then have, like we have in the O Come Ye Faithful, we have Come Ye. So you're playing a harmonic position, but you're also wiggling the 3, 4, 5 from a half to a full. So in many ways you can go with this. So hope that helps you. Have a good holiday season. Pick up a copy of Let's Enjoy Piano. Look up online. I give online lessons if you're interested. So give me a holler. Email me at let'senjoypiano.com. And we can give you a month of lessons, get you going, get you started on this. Okay, have a lot of fun. Take care. And we'll be seeing you next time around.